Good morning, friends. Today is Friday, September the 18th, and this is the 17th edition of Book Fun Friday. Welcome. So today is Graphic Book Day on Book Fun Friday. I am so excited to be talking to you all about these two graphic books. Now, I've shared this with you before. Graphic books are not my typical go-to when I am looking to pick up a book to read. But I have to say, after reading these and reading one a couple months ago, a different one a couple months ago, my mind is actually starting to turn about this particular type of literature. And it's actually making me appreciate it more and want to read more of them, which is a good thing. So let me tell you about the first book that I'm going to discuss this morning. The title of this book is The American Dream. And you see it has a question mark there, The American Dream. And the subtitle reads, A Journey on Route 66, Discovering Dinosaur Statues, Muffler Men, and the Perfect Breakfast Burrito. And it's written by the author Shing Yin Khor. The author is actually an immigrant from Malaysia who, as an adult, became an American citizen. And I'm going to share a little bit of the narrative here, a little bit from the beginning of the book and a little bit from toward the end of the story. And this is the author's voice here. This is a memoir. As a child growing up in Malaysia, there were always two Americas that resided in my head. The first was Los Angeles, full of beautiful people and sunlight and open roads. I live here now. There are definitely beautiful people and sunlight and lots of traffic. The second America was one I encountered in the book Grapes of Wrath. The story of the Judd family making their way west, past deserts and barren expanses of land, in search of the American dream. It was an incredible journey filled with dusty roads and big hopes. It is a story that has stuck with me for decades, that feeling of desperately searching for something better, for a new start. I can't help but relate to that as an immigrant and an artist. Now, what's really cool about this book is when the author was studying America and learning about becoming an American, one of the things that she discovered was this mystique or the mythology around Route 66, which is this famous road in the U.S. And so at some point, she decided to go exploring Route 66 and document the experience along the way. And that's really what this book is about, the exploration of Route 66 and the things that you discover and the people you encounter and the experiences you have in this part of America. So I'm going to read another passage from The American Dream, and this is toward the end. I have a lot of thoughts in my head about immigrant America and the quiet coding of outsiderness. But right now, I am just busy feeling grateful for the friendship and family offered to me along the way. I think I expected to find something else. I thought that I would have reached an understanding of America and my place in it, that I would begin to claim and understand this country a bit more as my own. Instead, I've come to feel more comfortable in motion. There is a calm in the unpredictability of road trip travel, of expecting long, empty roads and intentionally seeking out misadventures and beautiful, strange detours. Perhaps I've been overly preoccupied with the idea of home, of trying to force myself to be comfortable in a skin I've been trying to ease into for years, a skin finally labeled as both immigrant and American. My heart has always existed in pieces, between continents and countries and states and borders and trails I've walked and roads I've driven. Perhaps that is actually perfectly acceptable. Maybe home doesn't matter. The traditional way to drive Route 66 is from east to west, mirroring the westward trail of people seeking a better life. In 2 more weeks, I'll be back in Los Angeles. It may not be home, but it is where I have a house, a partner, and friends. And I will stay and pause for a bit, and then perhaps I'll just keep on going. And again, this book is titled The American Dream, subtitled A Journey on Route 66, Discovering Dinosaur Statues, Muffler Men, and the Perfect Breakfast Burrito. And it's written by Shing Yin Khor. The second graphic book I want to talk about this morning is titled PEDRO and Me, and it's written by Judd Winick. Now, there's a little bit of backstory to this book. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but there used to be a show on MTV that was called The Real World. And the idea behind The Real World was to bring together people from disparate backgrounds from all over the United States, put them in a house to live together for a period of time, and then film the interactions among this group that was very different from one another. Well, on season 3 of The Real World, which was set in San Francisco, the author of this particular graphic book, Judd Winick, was called into, or was offered an opportunity to join this cast. And he was super excited. He really, really wanted this to happen for himself. Except he found out, just as he was going into the season, that there would be a housemate who was HIV positive. And this was at a time when there was a lot of misinformation out there in the world about HIV and AIDS and how you contracted it and how it was spread. And this gave Judd deep pause to consider whether or not he really wanted to live in a house with someone who was HIV positive. Well, it turned out that he wasn't only just going to live in a house with this particular person, he was going to be rooming with him. And this troubled him. And he was troubled that he was troubled because prior to this moment, he had always considered himself this wildly liberal person, wildly open-minded person. And then he was confronted with his own maybe discomfort with or prejudice with the idea that he would be living with a roommate who was HIV positive. And so his hesitancy bothered him, but he went forward with this, and things could not have gone better. Not only did he learn to respect this person who turned out to be his roommate, he became friends with this person, and then he became best friends with this person. And he learned so much from the experience of living with him that it completely changed his life. Now, that person's name, the person I keep referring to as his friend, his name was Pedro Zamora. And that's why the book is titled PEDRO and Me. It's Judd Winick. It's the author's discovery of a friendship that was unlikely from his perspective, but ultimately became such a gift for him. And this is their story, recounted. Again, I mentioned this is a graphic format of that story. It is an absolutely beautiful book. It's turned out to be one of my all-time favorite books that I've ever read before. Well, guys, thanks as always for watching. I like to sign off by telling you how much I appreciate you, and I do appreciate you. I hope you are well and healthy. I hope your family is well. I hope your friends are well. Take care of yourself until next time, and I will see you then for another edition of Book Fun Friday. Bye-bye.